Hi, today's episode is brought to you by the 2010 Glazer County Marketing and Money Making Super Conference. On today's episode, we'll be talking about how to use your life experiences to create outrageous advertising, my very first outrageous advertising ad and the big lessons I learned from it, and also, of course, an answer from a Glazer County member about marketing. Welcome to No BS Live. This is the place for prosperity without the bull. So I want to talk to you about using occurrences in your marketing. See, a lot of people always say to me, Bill, how do you get all your ideas about your outrageous advertising or just about advertising in general? And here's what I always say, is that when you can, enter the conversation that's already going on in their mind or talk about things that you're doing. For example, birthdays is always a fun thing to be talking about. Travel is another one, about places that you're going to. The weather, for example, when I'm recording this right now, we just got a big blizzard here in Baltimore a couple of weeks ago and had over 38 inches of snow, or maybe it was 28 inches of snow. It seemed like 38 inches of snow. The weather, or holidays. People always love it when you refer to holidays because they're thinking about holidays. Matter of fact, in my new book, Outrageous Advertising, in the back, there's an appendix with holidays, all kinds of different holidays that you can use to talk about in your marketing. Let me give you a couple examples of it. Here's a postcard that I used where I actually talked about a cruise that I went on, and I actually put a picture of the cruise ship right on the postcard with a little handwritten stick figure of me on there, and I sent out a message to lots of customers that I had in my menswear store. This is talking about travel. Here's another one when I was in the Middle East and I was on a camel ride, and I put me on a camel ride. Also, it's great to talk about holidays such as Thanksgiving and Easter and Mother's Day and Father's Day and patriotic holidays. If you live whatever country that you're living in, every country's got patriotic holidays. So use different occurrences to talk about in your marketing because that's what people are thinking about themselves and or they like living their lives through you, so it cuts through the clutter in all of your marketing and advertising. One of my favorite ways to actually use these occurrences is to use a type of advertising which is called advertorials, and in a few moments I am going to show you an example of an advertorial and tell you exactly how it works and why it works. Before I do, let me tell you that today's show is brought to you by the 2010 Glazer County Marketing and Money Making Super Conference. Now, right beneath me is a link to go to learn all about the Super Conference and find out how you can attend, and I'd love to see you there because what we find out is our members who get the biggest leap in their incomes are the ones that attend our live events. What's really interesting about this year's event, it was built from the responses that we received from over 3,500 Glazer County members who filled out a survey of questions that told us what they wanted to see specifically at the Glazer County Super Conference. And what they told us overwhelmingly was they want more time with Dan Kennedy and Bill Glazer to teach them how to use Glazer County marketing in their business with the latest updates on the whole new economy that's emerging as we are sort of towards hopefully and exiting this recessionary times, moving into the new economy. And Dan and I are going to be specifically spending a lot of time telling you how to capitalize in the new economy. Plus, we have super celebrity Joan Rivers, who is a real entrepreneur in her own right, will be telling you big lessons she's learned through her entrepreneurial career and also how she won the Celebrity Apprentice in 2009 on Donald Trump's Celebrity Apprentice show. You'll also be hearing from Russell Brunson, who will be spending a full half a day with you, teaching you the latest that's working online in what I call no geek speak, be talking to you just sort of from the heart of how this works without all the gobbledygook of online language to tell you how you can use this in your business. So if you want to find out all the details about the super conference, click on the link below. I mentioned before that one of my favorite ways to deliver marketing and advertising messages is something that's called an advertorial. And I was going to show you actually the first outrageous ad that I ever ran for my business. Now here's the thing. I'd like to tell you that this was well thought out and that I planned to do this, but the truth of the matter is I didn't. It happened by accident. See, one day I got a phone call from my general manager of my menswear store telling me that the alarm went off at our store and he had to go in to fix the alarm. And when he went in, he found that we had about 6 inches of water throughout the entire store because one of our sprinklers went off that became malfunctioned. And we had a total disaster. So I had to go, and of course I had to do a big insurance settlement. And after we did the insurance settlement, the insurance company actually wanted us, after they did the settlement, to buy back everything that we just sold them at a big discount. So what did I do? I figured out how was I going to sell all these things that really were in perfect condition. Some of them got a little bit water on them, but basically all of them dried out and they were in perfect condition. And I just bought them back at a big reduced price. So how was I going to get that message out there to everybody in Baltimore, Maryland? And what I did was I wrote an advertorial. And what's an advertorial? Well, you can see an actual copy of my advertorial in the preface of my book, Outrageous Advertising, and we'll put it up on the screen for you to look at also. But what advertorial is, it's a ad that looks like editorial copy. And I find that whether it's in newspapers, whether it's in magazines, and whether it's even online, it has more believability because it has the appearance of being editorial content. And we all know that when a reporter writes it, it's got to be true. So people actually will read these, and they read these much more than they'll read any kind of regular display advertising that you can ever put up there. So an advertorial is an ad that looks like editorial content. And when you write it, you want it to look as much editorially as possible. So you want to have a headline in it. You want it to have a picture in it, just like an article would have. You want a caption beneath the picture. You want to write it in a newsy type of copy. And you want to have actual call to action at the end of it, just to make sure it's a direct response marketing piece. Look in the book, and you will find in there my sprinkler malfunction advertorial, and it's a great example of how you can actually use that in your own marketing. I highly recommend it because here's the deal. Within 1 week, all the water damage stuff we had was sold out. People respond to this because it actually is believable to them. Hey, in just a second, I'll tell you how to get a copy of my book for free. But first, so today we have a question that was sent to us from Gold member Dan Yeager from Reno, Nevada. I've never been to Reno, but I would like to. Here's the question. Bill, how do I know if what I'm doing is working, and when do I say enough is enough? Well, it's a good question. So here's the answer to the what's working part. Then I'll give you the answer to the enough is enough part. Here's how you know if something that's working. You know something that's working, whereas if every dollar that you spend, that you measure it and you can tell whether or not you're getting a return on your investment, and or once you get a customer from that, the customer value is worth more than the return on your investment. So now let me answer the second part of Dan's question, which is when do I say enough is enough? And frankly, I'm not sure this is what you're looking for, but here's my answer. Enough is never enough, because school is never out for the student. So all of us in marketing and advertising, we're always looking for the next thing, the next idea, the next shortcut, the next new strategy that will get us better response. So you're constantly looking for new ideas, always to improve on the response that you get. So we never really sit back and say, gee, when is enough is enough. And what I find is that the most successful entrepreneurs that I work with, those are the same people that are on this continual shopping expedition. Not shopping necessarily for things that you spend money for, although sometimes you need to spend money for ideas and for shortcuts, but shopping for new ideas and new people that you can actually network with and mastermind with and learn from. So enough is never enough. Hey, Dan, thanks for submitting the question. And for submitting this question, I've got a really cool gift for you. We're going to send you the DVDs of the entire Glazer Kennedy 2009 Super Conference that's featuring Dan Kennedy, Ivanka Trump, and me, and a bunch of other speakers that we had there. This is the only way that you can actually get these unless you attend there, is by me sending this to you. And here's the news. I don't have any more of these left, or at least I don't think I do. So next week, when we give our next question person a gift, it's going to be a whole different one that we'll give you. But this one, Dan, it's on its way to you. Well, that's it for today's episode, folks. And again, as my free gift for watching, I'll be giving you my new best-selling book, Outrageous Advertising, that's outrageously successful, for free. In order to get it, all you have to do is go to the screen below and click on that link, and it'll take you right to the page where you'll find out how you can get it for free, how you can help a great charity of your choice at the same time, and how you can get connected to Glazer Kennedy Marketing. And before you leave, don't forget, you got to make my daughter Mara happy, because she's our social media expert. So go to the bar on the side over here, and you can find out how you can connect with Glazer Kennedy on Facebook and Twitter. Also, make sure to leave your comments about today's episode below. I'm Bill Glazer, and thanks for tuning in to No BS Live, the place for prosperity without the bull.